4 stars, 5 stars, Baylor to Texas Tech to BYU. The Big 12 is recruiting at a level that's surpassing the SEC. This is a Locked On Big 12, Locked On Baylor crossover.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy July, where it's so hot you can't even walk outside. I'm Drake Toll from America's #1 Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. That's Cameron Stuart from Locked On Baylor. Thanks for making our shows your first listen every single day. Move over, SEC. When the Big 12 sees a 4-star or a 5-star, we go in and we take it. That's the case right now. Big 12 recruiting has never, never been better than, we had a conversation off air. About if you were to add one of the Pac-12 schools and just crush them, because the Big 12 loves to crush other conferences, if you're going to add one or two of them, who would it be? And I think it has to be Washington State and Oregon State, maybe Texas State. Then terrible Big 12 rankings. Look, I'm going to tease it by showing it to you for like 5, 4, 3. These are bad. They're from
Daily segment.
Spencer McLaughlin of Locked On College Football just made some bad Big 12 rankings. If you hit subscribe, we get to keep our jobs. Off the rip here. BYU, Baylor, and are you kidding? Texas Tech, of course. This is new. This is nothing new. But for Baylor, it kind of is. Have taken the world by storm in recruiting and are the top 3 schools in the Big 12. BYU, at the time of recording, a 223 overall composite score from 24/7 for their class of 2026. Baylor, a 220. Texas Tech, a 213. Those are all higher scores than any school in the Big 12 had all of last season.
Yeah.
4 stars, 5 stars. Houston landed a 5-star.
Higher than Alabama. Man.
We are looking at a new era of the Big 12 where if the SEC only wants to recruit transfer portal kids who are third-year sophomores out of South Alabama, the Big 12 will say, "Oh, so we get to have the 5-star high school kids and develop." Because you haven't said a word yet, barely, and I'm still gonna. My soapbox is not ended. The Big 12 in the last decade has been built off of development, taking 3-star guys and going to a national championship, hello TCU, with 3-star guys. Now, those same developers, that same skill set of developers, are still in the conference. But instead of working with 2 and 3 stars, they're working with 4 and 5 stars. I don't know about you. This is kind of cool.
It's exciting, man. And maybe this is where the Big 12 should be living. Obviously you're going to get pieces out of the transfer portal. Lord knows, right? I mean, every team does that. Every team needs to do that. But if there's going to be an avenue for them to get some of the best high school talent in the country for the first time, let's go in on that. Let's go all in on that. Because what surprised me is this isn't BYU beating out Utah. This isn't Baylor beating out TCU or Texas Tech vice versa. This is, BYU getting Rider Lions over Oregon and Alabama. Okay, like that 2 or 3 years ago was inconceivable, right? Even parts of this year, it's inconceivable. Baylor gets 2 top 100 recruits, a couple top 50 guys actually, in Jordan Clay and Jamarion Carlton, and they get them over Texas and Oklahoma. Yeah. Not TCU. Nothing against TCU. We're kind of in the same boat here. But this is not them beating out the Big 12. This is them beating out the Big 10 and the SEC. Week in, week out, it's becoming almost a common occurrence. Like, how does Houston now have a 5-star quarterback? How does that happen? Willie Fritz just kind of wandered into his high school, and he's beating SEC teams and Big 10 teams to his signature. It's quite a time right now. And eventually, everyone else will start to take notice.
Was TCU great last year?
No.
TCU was good. They were fine. TCU was fine. Was Kansas even good last year?
Kansas. If you played the entire season in November, they were excellent.
They were in Provo.
Yeah.
Kansas was bad for most of the football season last year. TCU, 4th in the Big 12 Conference, 3 4-stars. Kansas, 5th in the Big 12 Conference, 3 4-stars. And you already mentioned Houston, who's 12th in this league, has a 5-star quarterback, one of the best in the country, headed their way. Now, look, Cincinnati, UCF, Colorado. We already know Colorado loves leading the portal. Those schools need some help. But the top of this conference, not just big-time contenders. BYU, Baylor, Texas Tech, TCU, Kansas. Those are the top 5. None of them played in Arlington last year. though they all were in contention in that last week of the season when the entire conference could have made it. None of them played in Arlington last year, and they are dominating. They would be on the upper tier of the SEC or the Big Ten at this point in recruiting rankings. That's different, man. That's different than what ESPN is telling me is happening in college football.
Yeah, man, you're right. It's uncharted territory. And I think what we're going to start to see is kind of the narrative around, how the rest of the country views the Big 12 is, can they put a team in the college football playoff? Can they beat an SEC team or a Big 10 team in a playoff game, which they have over the last couple of seasons. And then it's like, well, yeah, but who are they even getting to come play there? Who wants to come play in the Big 12? Now that narrative is going to change. So again, this is not saying, the Big 12 has conquered the SEC. But right now, they're infringing on the SEC in a facet of college football that the SEC was most comfortable in, I would say, and that's recruiting. Like, how are you, we're Alabama, we're Georgia, we're Auburn. You're not going to beat us for a 4-star, 5-star guy, except now we are. Now BYU and Texas Tech and Baylor are doing that. Colorado can do that on any given year with Deion Sanders. Utah can do that on any given year and get a guy from California, that's competing for USC and Oregon. The Big 12 can do that now in an area where the SEC was the most comfortable because it's not happening in the national championship game anymore. They're not most comfortable there. Okay. It's not even happening on some of, the college football playoff football fields, but it's happening in recruiting. And that really hurts the SEC's confidence, I think.
Bob Bowlesby is rolling over in his grave.
Can't believe this.
What the hell, man?
May he rest in peace, my lord.
What the hell? Looking around like the day I left, this thing was going to fall apart. And now it's competing with the SEC in recruiting. It makes me wonder. And when he was commissioner, everyone gave him a hard time. Nobody really liked Bob Bowlesby.
Mm-hmm.
Once he stepped down, it was like, don't be so mean. For some reason, we all had this weird soft spot for former Commissioner Bob Bowlesby. After going to media days this week, and Brett Yormark, who looks like a powerful skeleton, by the way, looks like it's
a good way to put it. Yeah.
Like an intense skeleton, was like, we will come and we will eat you. You're like, wow. Okay.
I think the next thing he was about to say was, if you want to take on the Big 12, I can promise you one thing. Someone else will be raising your sons and daughters.
Yeah, that's what it was. He's so intense. Like, was Bob Bowlesby just that bad?
I'm telling you, dude, I hate politics and I hate politicians. I want Brett Yormark to be a politician.
Yeah.
I want him to be a senator so bad. Like, this is a guy who just doesn't sugarcoat it. He really doesn't. And he believes in everything he's saying. That's so rare, man.
You saying you hate, was it Ann Roberts? Ann
Richards?
No, you saying you hate Ann Richards?
Great service to our country.
Yep.
In what she did with the formation of this conference, really.
It was a Christoph Henley quote that he gave post-game. No. This was midweek. They used to interview players at Baylor in the Matt Rule era. This is a throwback. In the Matt Rule era, they would interview players midweek before they went on their next game. And typically Dave Aranda wants no one interviewed, not even himself, if he can avoid it. And they were playing UTSA, who was putrid, by the way, at the time. And Christoph Henley, in his accent, he's Polish, maybe something like that. He goes, "They will come and they will hit you." Third string tight end Christoph Henley just threw him out there in the meet. They will come and they will hit you. UTSA, baby.
Freaking Ivan Drago, man.
You fellows. Watch out. Coming up, who are you going to take from the Pac-12? Let's redraft. Locked on Big 12, locked on Baylor. Oh, crazy. Getting a phone call. What? Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Nothing new around these parts. FanDuel's the number one spot that I go during the MLB. To get in on the action, FanDuel makes it thrilling. Sometimes baseball's a little bit boring. I'm a baseball guy, but occasionally you're like, okay, it's 8-1. But when it's 8-1 and a new reliever's come in the game, I can bet the Jose Leclerc strikeout prop. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with the new daily promotions and fun ways to bet as well. Whether I'm placing a same-game parlay or watching a bet right into the ninth inning, FanDuel makes it easy and fun. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. That is FanDuel. If today you said, Cincinnati, sorry, not a lot of Big 12 left for you. Or if you're the ACC and you said, look, we're going to lose Clemson to Florida State, we need to backfill even further. The first place you probably look is the Pac-12, this new branded Pac-12. And 2 years ago, I made a very strong case Washington State and Oregon State could be valuable members of the Big 12. Ooh, Pullman's small, Corvallis is small. No. Portland and Seattle. That's where the alumni base is. They draw just as much as Washington and sometimes Oregon in a year where especially they're this desperate. I think those two schools still have extreme value. They've proven they can stand the test of time, build their own conference, extreme value for the Big 12 because they have this D1. They have D1 facilities, Power 4 facilities. They have the stadiums. They have the infrastructure. They've got it. It's still there. It's not gone yet.
They're Power 4 teams in everything except being in a Power 4 conference.
Which there's value to,
Yeah.
maybe more so than a couple of schools the Big 12 got or a couple of schools that the ACC is dealing with right now. You know, I would, sorry to you, I'll use a different school than Boston College.
Thank you.
Sorry to Syracuse. I'd probably rather have Washington State than Syracuse right now. Namely, when you have Stanford and Cal over there, you can pair them with those two. That's Stuart Mandel, Howie Mandel. Thinks would be a great fit in the Big 12. You also said, if we're going to do a little redraft here of the Pac-12 and schools that would fit in this conference, Texas State, San Marcos, like any excuse that I can have to go float that river, not a bad one for me. I wouldn't mind that
right now, day like today.
Yeah, no doubt.
Catch me floating.
Yeah.
Texas State's an interesting one, man. Like I'm rooting for Texas State. Like I'm in. I would love to have another power program here in Texas. We thought UTSA was going to be that a couple years ago, and they're certainly still a good program.
You either die a hero or live long enough to help become the villain, Jeff Traylor.
Exactly, Jeff Traylor. Hope you really like it there. You're stuck. GJ Kinney, Texas State. I'm in on them becoming something. In fact, I'm really in on the Big 12 getting Texas State and not getting SMU, because I just think that's really funny. I think that's really funny. The Big 12's already better than the ACC, and they're like, we really like the Austin Metro, San Marcos. And we just bring them in and UTSA, Incarnate Word, and then SMU.
Houston Baptist.
Certainly Texas State wouldn't be at the top of my list of the Pac-12 schools, though.
Okay.
Not even the next one after Oregon State, Washington State.
Can I say something bold, controversial?
Please. Yeah.
I would rather have Texas State than Boise State. It's Boise, Idaho.
It's a happening town. The kids love it, man.
Yeah, Grand Rapids is a happening town. I love Grand Rapids. We went to Allentown, Pennsylvania with Banana Ball last weekend, and it was great. I had a cigar and smoked a cigar and had a beer on the river. But I wouldn't want my Big 12 cross country team to go there.
I know, but we know Boise State's legit program though. Like they were in the BCS era with Chris Peterson, and then he left, and Brian Harsin did a good job there, and now they're in the college football playoff again, for the first time, but they're in the college football playoff as a Group of 5 champion. Like they had a Heisman finalist. Like they still are kind of legit enough.
They're UConn to me. They're UConn. Every coach wins.
That's derogatory.
For some reason, UConn basketball.
Oh, okay.
Every coach wins for UConn basketball. Gonzaga basketball, we're all like, oh, they're so valuable. The day they stop winning, the day they go 3-9, it's over. It's over immediately.
But they've done it. Like a couple years ago, they were bad. And they bounced back during the college football playoff.
Was that Bronco Mendenhall? Did they have Bronco? He's coached at like 7 different places.
He's been around since
he keeps losing in different places.
Yeah.
What, Virginia there for a bit, I think?
Yeah, UVA. Is that New Mexico?
New Mexico, right?
Right, because Jerry Kill was at New Mexico State, so I think he was at UNM.
That sounds right, yeah.
I mean, like, I get what you're saying. I'd rather take Boise State. There's another wild card in here that I'd take before Texas State, by the way.
If you say Sacramento State,
I just love the idea of a Sac State here.
this is a virtual kiss. I do. I think what they have Shaq now, what Brendan Marion too is over there. I think Sac State in a couple of years, we're gonna look at them. We're going to look
Who's
at
their
Sac
coach, by the
State.
way?
Brendan Marion, right?
Is that his name? I'll take your word for
is
it. I'll take
Bibby
your word
there?
for it.
Is Bibby their basketball coach too? I think Bibby's their
That would be
basketball
great.
coach.
They're the ones who were like interviewing Michael Vick. And
Yeah,
then Michael Vick went somewhere else. Norfolk State, is that right?
correct.
Someone's at Norfolk State.
Yeah,
it might be
that's
like
Vic.
Vic. Anyway,
That's
sorry. Go ahead. Sac State. My choice is not Sac State, by the way. But
In 3 years, Sac State will be the #1 expansion candidate in the country, and Willie Fritz will be the best head coach in the Big 12. That's all I'm saying. Give it 3 years. Those are my bold predictions moving forward in life.
I mean, the Sac State prediction's not that crazy, because I think a lot of other conferences are thinking like you do about Boise State, and like Texas State certainly has that growth potential, but they're not like Sacramento is the capital of California. It's got a huge population.
well,
Like
you're
I
gonna
can
add
see that.
the Albany Greyhounds to the Big 12. What is this, like,
Yeah, maybe that's not the best.
taking
example, but-
capitals into account now.
I mean, all I'm saying is it is a pretty big metro area. Like San Marcos does go into Austin, bleed into Austin, so maybe, but like
Yeah.
you don't have a lot of Texas State a lot.
I bet San Marcos is bigger than probably half the schools, towns in the Big 12.
Yeah,
And
it's bigger than Ames.
A better metro, Manhattan, Lawrence,
Yeah,
Ames, Waco, and
Lawrence,
San
you
Marcos
get
aren't
Kansas City, basically.
that far off. Waco's bigger for sure, but it's not.
But my
that
pick
far off.
after Washington State and Oregon State is Colorado State.
I love. I'm on vacation, by the way.
Yeah,
I love, and I just feel bad because I see what I see in Baylor is a lot of what I see in Washington State and Oregon State. If it was just
That's fair,
the wrong year, the wrong time of day, Baylor would have gotten left out of a power conference.
absolutely.
Oklahoma State goes to
Thankful
Pac-12.
for Ann Richards. Thank you.
Yes.
May she rest in peace.
So she's dead. She's been dead for a
Yeah.
bit. What I see in them, I don't want for me. I want the
Lord, I've seen what you've done for others. I don't want that to happen.
don't do it for me. And I feel bad. And that's where I come from in this conversation when I talk Washington State, Oregon State. Are they the best business decisions? No. Sorry, God. Sorry, Bearcat Matt. I would probably rather have them than Cincinnati. My bad. What are you saying? Nothing. Okay, great. Coming up, terrible Big 12 rankings. Locked on Big 12, locked on Baylor. Cameron Stuart of Locked on Baylor. This is great. Spencer McLaughlin, our friend, he hosts a show, Locked on College Football. Put together his Big 12 ranking. And I don't even know. I don't even know what to do.
Pretty much.
I don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
Texas
tough.
Tech at 1, which is not the craziest thing in the world. You know what? That's one of the things I'm like, you know what? Fine. Arizona State at 2. I again, it's the Big 12. We don't do repeat things. We don't.
It's like that.
crazier-
It's like the Donnie Darko or the what was it? The Babadook meme where it's like, why can't you just be normal? We can't do that here.
Other big notes before we go through the whole thing. BYU at 10, Kansas at 9, UCF at 16. You know what? Fine.
I don't have a great feel for the bottom 5. Spencer McLaughlin said.
Houston sitting at 8. I agree with. Big Willie Fritz, fan of the program. Shook my
Big
hand
Willie
at Big 12 Media
Fritz.
Days.
Big Willie. Big Willie fan. Yeah. Big Willie style.
This is a terrible side note.
Let's
So
go.
Banana Ball, the party animals, our
Never
catcher,
heard of him.
Andy Cosgrove, is a former member of Love Island Australia, the dating show Love Island.
Of course.
And one of the games they do, I haven't really watched the show.
They
One of the
also lost it.
games, they do games, right? And they kick people off and whatever. And one night it was this like dress up and sensually strip game. And he created a name for himself because they gave him a military uniform. He was G.I. Johnson.
Okay, yeah,
it's
I think
this
we know that.
incredible G.I. Johnson clip of him on Love Island, Australia. The guys play in the locker room a lot, and they refer to him as G.I. Johnson, Big Willie Fritz at 8 in the Big 12. In the Big 12 college football, Locked On College Football rankings. Texas Tech 1, Arizona State 2, Kansas State 3, Iowa State 4, Baylor 5. Any of those 5 actually could win the league. That's not the worst top 5. There are pieces of this that I think are very stupid. That's not a piece of it, really.
Yeah, I could take any of those 5. Good money.
Baylor as well. Baylor.
I wouldn't have Baylor 5th, but I would take any of those 5.
Where do you have? I don't think I've asked you this. Where would you have Baylor?
1.
You really think so?
Yeah. I'm also one of those guys I complained about the other day. I'm also not putting Arizona State number 1. But
the last time I picked Baylor number 1, I found my ass in Fort Worth, Texas on like December 6th. And it's -8 degrees with a wind chill of -32. Like you spit and it freezes.
Yeah, that's bad.
And Blake Shapen and the Baylor Bears got their butt handed to them by Air Force. And they finished 6 and 7.
And I want that again. I'm a sick man.
Preseason had them at 11 and 1. They went 6 and 3. Started 6 and 3.
I mostly just pick what I want the Big 12 championship to be.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want it to be is the butt ball.
Baylor, Texas Tech, right? Yeah.
Yeah. What I think it will be is Baylor and Arizona State. But I'll probably get neither of those right. Like
you too, Arizona. We don't. You know the Big
like
12, dog. We don't do the. We don't repeat.
I know.
We're bad at that.
I like making these predictions after like week 3.
I had Baylor
it's a cop-out, but
winning the Big 12 that season. They finished 6 and 7. I mean, my predictions are never even remotely close to correct.
That wasn't even the worst prediction you had that season.
Nope. TCU 1 and 11. TCU 1 and 11. And then I can tell you where I was January 1st or January 8th of 2023. And that was in not LA. SoFi is in like Brentwood or something. That's the name of it. Yeah. I watched TCU play in a national championship after projecting them 1-11. Yeah, they played something like that. They were there. They were present. Huh. Baylor at one point in time, and we'll get back to this. Baylor at one point in time went 3-13 in a stretch of 16 games under Dave Aranda. But I was the bad guy for saying fire the coach. I was the
people saying that to me, and I'm like, because I said like he should be fired at the end of 23 when they were 3-9, and I was just like, I'm not backing off of that. I think he should have been fired. Then it's going really well right now, and he's delivering on the things he said he would deliver on. So I'm happy, but hindsight is 2020, man. I'm not backing off of that. Like I absolutely thought he should have been fired. I couldn't believe they hung on to him.
My apologies to Scotty B, who I love and miss, by the way. My apologies to Scotty B for a lot of things. But in this, I think, hopefully we can all get behind the idea that Dave Aranda should be a coach at Baylor. Yes. Yeah. But if you have the Matt Rule type who had a Joey McGuire behind him or a Phil Snow, who was really the mastermind in a lot of people's eyes to that defense behind them, that's what Dave Aranda feels like to me, is the second in command who does the X's and O's and doesn't have to lead the whole thing. Because he's not good with the media. By and large, he's not great with the kids. They're not like, oh man, can't wait to hang out with Uncle Dave.
Recruits like him.
Somehow.
They're not like doing the whole, photo bit where they've got the camera going all the way around. Like they're not doing the Brian Kelly BS.
But he's got a great staff built around him. I think he finally got the staff. Like Jake Spavital has turned out to be a really good hire. Obviously, you dip into Oregon and find your defensive coordinator and bring him back to Baylor, and then Dallas Baker, coach of the wide receiver. He's got a good staff built around him. He's just kind of a board, man. And there's two ways around that. If Eli Drinkwitz walks into, or Lane Kiffin or Deion Sanders, and then Dave Aranda comes in, hi, good to meet you. Appreciate the question.
If that group walks in and you had to lie to these people and say one of these is not a football coach, like there's one guy you're picking.
And no disrespect, because you're like, that guy's a doctor. He's a really good, he's a precise doctor. That's enough about our alma maters. Baylor's at 5, Utah at 6. That's 4 spots above BYU. What is it with preseason Big 12 lists and all of them having Utah above BYU? Why? That's a popular pick this year.
It's really bizarre, especially taking into account that if you're picking Utah up pretty high, you're not really caring that much about the quarterback. I know there are some people that like Devin Dampier a lot. We've said it ad nauseum. I'm not a huge fan, but like it's unequivocal that you're picking Utah to be up there because they were so good defensively last year, even though they were a 5-7 team, and yet you're not doing the same thing for BYU. Like you're saying, oh, they don't have the quarterback, they're done. But you're doing the same thing with Utah and putting them above BYU every time. I don't understand it.
I don't either. And I do think like Joel Klatt, I believe it was, at Big 12 Media Days was like, oh, I've seen Devin Dampier and the welcome to a new era. Somebody at Big 12. I was like, I don't know, man. And if DeQuan Finn didn't exist, Devin Dampier in my mind would be so much better. But the problem is DeQuan Finn exists.
We would have had the blinders on. We'd have had the shades on and been like Devin Dampier, new era, baby.
Yep. But I can't.
And I don't know. I don't exactly know what it is that got Devin Dampier so much more hype than DeQuan Finn. But they come from, similar backgrounds in terms of where they were playing before, similar stats. In fact, DeQuan Finn was better.
DeQuan Finn's resume is better.
And he wasn't playing for Bronco Mendenhall, though. So,
God, true. Then there's, TCU's at 7, Houston 8. I like that one. Kansas at 9, BYU at 10. 10, man. 10. They got a lot of dudes coming back. A lot of good wide receivers, too, no matter who plays quarterback. Got a lot of dudes. Offensive, defensive line. The defense is great. They might now look. Houston had a great defense last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like above good, a great defense. They just couldn't score a damn point. I don't think that'll be BYU. LJ Martin, Chase Roberts, they have talented pieces. But if they don't have somebody play quarterback, if they don't have somebody step up, I could see it. I hate to say that, but I mean, if you have an Isaac Wilson situation with Utah last year, where the guy you put in there just really sucks, like really just bad, that would be detrimental for sure.
Sure. This is where we've almost talked ourselves into it too much with a couple of teams. I would say Houston's one of them. I think I'm getting in dangerous territory with how I'm feeling about Houston. Yeah. There's no way on God's green earth I would put them ahead of BYU in the preseason poll. Like there's just no way.
You can't. But as good as their defense was last year, and now they kind of have a quarterback.
But I mean, with the defense thing, I would say the same thing about BYU. Like they won 11 games last year.
BYU's above Houston. But Houston.
Hear me out.
And I woke up one day and was like, wait a second. What if Houston good? And now my brain can't stop. Every day I add a win.
That's the thing. I did this with TCU a few weeks ago, and to the point where I'm thinking, is TCU got a shot at Arlington? And they do in that they're a top half team in the Big 12, so everyone does. But not really. They're not better than 5 or 6 teams in the the teams that are ahead of them. I should say they're not better than 8 or 9 teams in this conference. And Houston's not better than half the conference. They're not.
Unless.
What if?
And I think about Willie Fritz. I think about him hobbling over to me.
Think about Big Willie. Big Willie style.
Goodness, good to meet you. Willie. Me shaking his hand, being like, all right, cool. Thanks, man. It's the beauty of Big 12 Media Days. 96% of people in that room just stick up their ass. As far as Vlad the Impaler level. It's going all the way through. It's like, can we all calm down for a second?
It's not that deep, man.
If you run into Rich Rodriguez on the street and you're like, Rich Rod, hey, great to meet you. Best of luck this season. That's a cool happenstance.
Yeah.
We have corralled these people into a room together. It's not cool that Avery Johnson's right there because he is being asked to.
Right.
He has to.
Yes. And you have to apply to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is not like a wow. And by the way, almost everyone gets accepted to Big 12 Media Days, which I do think is cool. I think it's very cool. There are kids that have they're in high school. They write about the Big 12 every week. I think they deserve a shot to go there and see it. I like that part of it. And I enjoy that I got to be there, which is shocking to me. That's Cameron Stuart, Locked On Baylor. This has been It Always Will Be Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. A crossover with Baylor and Jose Grande.